Good morning, class.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, let's first start our day with a prayer. Rihanna, can you lead the prayer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, amen. Thank you for that. Once again, good morning, class.
Good morning.
Okay, so I am Miss Lunifes Aldasal and I will be your PE teacher for today. So, first, let me remind you with my class rules. First, I want you to listen to me attentively and to especially to our discussion. Second, raise your hand if you want to answer, ask concerns and clarifications. Third, I want you to sit comfortably. Fourth, I want to remind you with your social distance with your classmates. Fourth, fifth rather, um, kindly check your classmates or seatmates. If he or she wears his or face mask, kindly say um, safety is present. And if he or she doesn't wear his or her mask, kindly say COVID is present.
Safety is present.
Okay, good. So that's all of my class rules for today. So let's start our discussion with a simple warm-up activity. Okay, so I want you to be energized or hit your engines, um, warm up your brains, na? Para hindi kayo mabigla sa lesson natin. Ayan. So, our warm-up activity is entitled Sneak Peek and Guess. So, I will be showing you 5 pictures and I want you to analyze them. We will do this activity orally, so raise your hand if you want to answer, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
So here are the set of pictures. Okay, what did you notice to these pictures? Okay, very good. Injuries. So the first one, what injury is this? Or emergency situation is this? Yes, okay, very good. Muscle cramps. Next, the second picture. Okay, bruise. Next, it is usually occurs in our foot. Nah? There is two types of injuries that mainly caused or occur in our foot. What's the answer? Okay, very good. Sprain and strain. The fourth picture. What type of injury is this? Cuts, wounds, okay, lacerations, blisters, okay, very good. Next, yes, okay, nose bleeding. So, why do these wounds occurs? Bakit nangyayari sa atin ang mga uh, sugat na ito, injury, or emergency situations? Yes, kasi clumsy, okay? Mm, because of unexpected situation, accidents. Okay, very good. So, could these wounds or could our wounds be fatal? Nakakamatay ba ang sugat, ang injury? Okay, yes, of course, if napabayaan. Next, how do you manage your own wounds? Kapag may sugat kayo, paano niyo siya ginagawa? The use of betadine. Okay, very good. Hinuhugasan ng sugat. Okay, very good. Band-aid. Okay. So, these wounds, syempre, ginagamot natin sila. So, what comes into your mind if you hear or see the word first aid? Temporary care, very good. Hmm. Any other answer? Okay. So, Why should we do first aid? You said that it is a temporary care for injuries and wounds. Bakit natin ginagawa ang first aid? To lessen the suffering of the injured person, very good. To prolong life, very good. So, to continue our discussion, first I would like to present you our objectives for today's lesson. So, at the end of our discussion today, you will be able to understand the different types of injuries and emergency situations. Second, demonstrate the appropriate first aid for injuries and emergency situations. Third, we will attentively listen and participate in class activities and class discussions. Fourth, we will be able to show concern and awareness to prevent and avoid uncontrollable situations during emergency situations. Okay. Today we will be tackling about Today, we will be talking about sports injuries, its first aid, and prevention. So, first, let's have injury. Injury is any physical damage to the body caused by violence or accident. By overuse, direct impact that is greater than the body part can structurally withstand. So, lahat naman tayo naka-experience na ma-injured, masugatan, no? So, we do have two kinds of sports injury. We have acute injury, which is an injury that occurs suddenly. So, it occurs unexpectedly, no? Next is chronic injuries caused by repeated overuse of muscles or joints rather. So today we will only be focusing with acute injuries because it is needed. It is um, need temporary care, which is first aid. While sa chronic, it can be managed, no, by seeking your doctor or personal physicians. So we have these types of injuries. The first one is sprains and strains. No? Sprains and strains are soft tissue injuries that may occur to different areas of our body. Hindi lang siya nagpo-focus sa foot. But it is commonly occurred in our foot. See this image here. So, for sprain, it is an injury to a ligament. This is an example of, this is an illustration of sprain. So, the ligament is the one who connects bones to bones. No? So in sprain, the one that is tearing apart is the ligament, the one who, which is the one who connects the bones, while the strain, a stretch or torn muscle or tendon. So in strain, it has the involvement of the muscle and the tendon. Between them is the one of being torn apart or stretched. So any questions with sprain and strains?
No, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Next, we have muscle cramps. Like in these pictures. Like in this picture. So, muscle cramp is an uncontrollable and painful spasm of the muscle. So, muscle cramps occurs in different parts of our body. So, but mostly in my experience, when I do swimming or even we sleep, we can experience muscle cramps because muscle cramps occurs to those muscles that is not being used but you suddenly use it. No? It's painful as well as itchy at the same time. No? Next, we have bruises, small bleeds into the skin. Usually, we get bruise when we are being hit, no? Especially in the face. You can attain black eye sometimes, diba? So next, fourth is cuts and abrasions caused by heat or falls onto object or debris. So cuts and abrasions are commonly um, commonly wounds that we get even if we're at home, no, or not doing anything. We can acquire um, cuts and abrasions in uh, simple things we do every day. So it is treatable naman. We usually do first aid by washing our wounds with soap and in running water, diba? So next we have joint injuries. Injuries that affects our joints. It's either our shoulder joints, elbow joints, knee joints, and foot joints. So see in the picture, he is experiencing knee joint injuries. Next, we have nose injuries, like this example, nose bleed. No? It's either nose bleeding or broken nose. It is commonly occur when we, when we got punched or hit in the face. No? Seven is fractures, a break in a bone. We have two types of fractures, but um, there are so many types of bone fractures. See here in our image. So the first example of fracture is open fracture. It is the bone breaks through the skin. So it breaks through the skin means there's blood involvement. Next, stress um, fracture rather occurs over time, so it can be managed. And stress fracture is kind of chronic bleed. So th- this is an open fracture, wherein the bone breaks through the skin and uh, comminuted bone fracture is one example of stress fracture. Eighth example or eighth injury, heat exhaustion. This is a condition where body overheats. So it starts with you being dehydrated, then you will feel heat exhaustion if your dehydration is not um, being addressed with. So it may lead to heat exhaustion or you feeling dizzy under the heat of the sun. Then heat exhaustion leads to what? Okay, heat stroke. Very good. Now, those are the types of injuries. Now let's go to first aid. Like you said, it is a temporary care. So first aid is an immediate temporary care given to a person who is injured or ill. No? Next, we have this called first aid provider, or a person who is trained to execute first aid when emergency medical service personnel is not available or delayed. No, sila yung usually talagang nagpa-perform, nag-execute ng first aid. I don't know if meron na tayong first aid provider dito sa Pilipinas, but mostly sa ibang bansa, meron na. And sila yung unang talaga magre-respond before the ambulance. So, that's for types of injuries and and about first aid. So now, let's continue with with its first aid of those different types of injuries. So let me just put this first. Okay, so sorry for that, class. So let's continue. So now we will be tackling about first aid in those types of injuries that we talk about here. So the first one, first aid in bruise. Now we have all you need to do is to ice the bruise with an ice pack and leave it for 10 to 20 minutes. Compress the area if it is swelling using bandage. Okay. Next, we have muscle cramp. All you need to do is to stretch and massage it slightly and gently. In some cases of severe cramps, put an ice pack on the cramps or put an ice pack on the cramp area for the muscle to relax. Now, in heat exhaustion, you have to you have to move the person out of the heat and into a shady or air-conditioned place. Lay the person down and elevate the legs and feet slightly. Next, remove tight clothing for the patient, for the injured person or the person experiencing heat exhaustion's body to breathe. No? Fourth is have the person sip chilled water or sports drinks containing electrolytes. Now, for cuts and abrasions, abrasion-type wounds can be washed with soap and in running water. Once the wound is washed and bandaged, you can also apply ice and pressure to manage bruising and swelling. Third, in deeper cuts, in some cases, because deeper cuts involves bleeding also, you need to apply direct pressure followed by elevation and application of pressure bandage to lessen the blood flow and to prevent you from dying because of blood loss. Next is, if unable to control bleeding, seek immediate help or medical care. Next, for joint injuries, we have this acronym called PRICE method. Are you familiar with PRICE method? Okay, so in the past it is just RICE, the acronym of RICE, but today they add letter P for protection, and now it is PRICE. It is called PRICE method. So P stands for protection, protecting the injured part from additional damage. R stands for rest. You need to keep the injured part supported and avoid using it for 48 to 72 hours. You need to use split in this. So I, next, for ice, apply ice for 20 minutes every 2 hours within the first 48 to 72 hours. C for compression, apply an elastic bandage extending above and below the painful site. So if if your injury is in here, your bandage may start here and ends here, and or vice versa, starts here and ending here. For for um, for the for more secure compression on the injured part. Next, elevation. Raise the injured area above heart level to lessen the blood flow. Okay. Next, we have nose bleeding. So this is somewhat common na rin, no? For nose bleeding, sit with your head leaning forward, not facing upward, because the blood coming out from your nose will uh, will come in and go to your stomach. So you need to let out that blood. And then pinch your nostrils and breathe through your mouth. Hold for at least 10 minutes. And for the fracture, limit movement and mobilize the area with a splint to support and to not misplace being uh, the bone that being involved. Next is elevate the limb and apply ice to reduce bruising and or swelling. Next and last, if the skin is broken, cover it with sterile bandages or clean cloth to avoid infection. So that's the first aid for those sport injuries that we've discussed here. Now, how to prevent them? Okay, first do warm-ups and cool downs for your body to be able to adapt on the physical activity that you are executing or performing. Next, wear appropriate sports attire. It is important, especially clothing that you are comfortable to move, you're comfortably, not too thin, not too heavy, no? And for you to be able to move uh, freely. Next, wear supporter and safety gears for protection. No? The use of uh, tape or straps to uh, support your vulnerable joints, diba? Helmets, mouth guards, diba? Next, drink plenty of fluids. It is important to drink more fluids so that it can replace your sweats that you exert. Next, avoid exercising or training on the hottest part of the day. Um, from it can be around 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. No, it is the hottest part of the day, especially when it is afternoon. Um, Next, do cross training. Cross training means like if you your specialization or your mastery of skills in basketball, um, and you want to um, master other skills, um, you need to like move from other sports like it's either swimming, badminton, for you to be able to master other skills other than the basketball skills that you know, and for your body to be more capable of doing anything. Next, don't exert yourself. One step at a time. Do do your physical activities on your own pace. Don't pressure yourself like sila maganda na yung katawan, ganito, ganyan. And that pressure will build you more uh, insecurities, and this will urge you to do more than you are capable of. No? But that will lead you to injury or accidents, and it will harm your body. No? So don't exert yourself and just do your thing. Do your thing in your own pace. Next, gradually gradually increase intensity and duration. Now, for example, if you want to focus on squats in for 1 week, do it like if you are capable to do 15 times squats in a week, then for the next week you can increase your physical activity, which is squatting, into 20 or 25. Depends on the capability of your body. Second to the last, allow adequate recovery time between sessions. you need to also to rest. No? Last, have regular medical checkups for you to be able to monitor yourself and to monitor the capability of your body, and for you to be able to um, recognize what physical activity you must do properly, and what physical activity is right for your body. So in some instance, if there's an injured person or an athlete, and you think you can do, or and you think it's just a minor injury like wounds, do you think you can you can now be able to perform first aid?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, maybe, no? So we will find that out in our group activity today. So I will group you into um, I will group you into three. So first group, second group, third group. So I want you to each group will perform different types of first aid. So in group one, they will be performing first aid in muscle cramps and bruise. For group two, you will perform the price method. And for the group three, you'll be performing the first aid in nose injuries and heat exhaustion. So now, for your criteria, um, execution is 20, participation is 10, a total of 30 points. Okay? Now, so you may now start discussing. Let me know if you're ready to perform. Okay? Okay. Group one, you may start. Thank you very much. Group two. Okay, very good. Group three. Okay, very good. Give yourself a round of applause, everyone. Okay. So, for me to fully um, know if you really if you understood our lesson for today, for your assessment rather, I want you to arrange the letters and explain it briefly in your own words, of course. So do it in a one half sheet of paper, and you may now start answering. Time's up. Pass your papers in front. For your assignment, I want you to research about intentional and unintentional injuries. List down 5 examples of intentional and 5 examples of unintentional injuries. So each of them, you need to explain them on your own words. So, nasamtan na ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So, I will end my uh, I will end my discussion with a quote. So it says, every accident is a notice that something is wrong with men, methods, or material. Investigate. No? So before taking action, because like you already know the first aid, and you're like impossibly do your thing to just help that person, you need to investigate first what happened, what type of injury does the victim acquired, no? So be aware first before act. But most importantly, you need to call for help first. Okay? So that's all for our class today. Thank you for your participation. I hope you understand our lesson for today, and may you apply this, no? So that's all for today, class. Thank you very much and goodbye.